Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hello.
the weekly Phrancko Sweater Knitters meeting. And anyone who sees this video is welcome to come join us. If you're thinking about knitting a Phrancko sweater, or if you have knitted one or want to ask questions about it, feel free to join us anytime. It's, well, not anytime. It's once a week for 1 hour. Join us during that hour, please. Starting at 2:30 on Saturday Pacific time, and the link to join it is on the website phrancko.com. After you become a member of phrancko.com, you'll see the link at the top of the page. Well, that said, as wordy as it was, hi, Mary.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Wally.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Ron.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sidra.
Hello.
And we'll just take a breath and then we'll say, hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, sweater.
Hi, thank you.
It turned out so great.
I just got it back today.
Mm,
Excited to wear
it's
it, though
gorgeous.
I'm
It is
a little
gorgeous.
warm here.
Yeah.
But it's just beautiful. I got my my yarn for doing the one that I'm going to do for Katie's
Well,
as soon as the pattern comes out.
the pattern is has already been submitted back to the writer, to those of us who wrote patterns to check, and
Yeah,
it will go live on
I think you said
February 1st.
February 1st, so just a couple more days. Yeah,
That's right.
because Ron sent the yarn, and this is what I'm doing the body of the sweater. And
Oh,
these are
wait,
the,
wait,
Oh, wow.
wait, we
Okay.
got it. Spotlight you. Oh my.
Ron sent
Oh, wow.
the colors. This is the body of the sweater. This is the raisin, and this is olive and mallard, and because she kind of wanted those really green colors, and I think it'll be really nice with it.
You
That
like
looks
them
like it'll
together,
be
seeing
great.
I'm excited.
in there.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yes, Tim picked out good colors. Thank you, Tim. They look very good.
yeah.
And you're doing it in an Aran weight, is that correct?
Yeah, it's let's see what my gauge is. It's 16 stitches and 23 rows and 4 inches. Yeah.
Have you
On
generated
size
pattern
8
yet?
needles.
And
Yes, I
have you
did.
checked the number of stitches across the front from seam to seam? That's a critical thing. You have to be able to get enough stitches in to get the chart in.
Okay, let me just grab my pattern here. I've got it. It looks like it's 19.5 inches. So
Okay, well, we can just multiply
let's see
that
how
out.
many you can figure that out.
5. You said 16 inches per inch, 4 inches, and that's 4 inches.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, that's 78. Yes, you can.
Yay!
Let me verify that once again.
No, so it's 19.5 inches and 16 stitches in 4 inches.
Okay. I'll check. I'm trying to figure out the quickest way to check that. I'll go back to Stitch Fiddle. One,
So let me just look.
you can do the smallest one, which is 61 stitches across.
Oh, that'd probably be good. Yeah. 'Cause I don't
And
have that much.
there's a medium-sized one that's 80 stitches across. How many stitches do you think it is?
Okay, when I separate the sleeves from the body, I have 160 stitches total. So I'll have 80 across the front and 80 across the back.
So you'll need to do the smallest.
So I need to do the smallest, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would reach from arm to arm.
Side to side, which might be interesting for some things, but not for the butterfly.
But I think the size that you're talking about, where it's like 60, it's not going to be that much space on either side. It seems like it really will fill the front nicely.
Yes. Yes,
So,
it'll fill the front pretty well.
Yay. She's really excited about it. I think it's just going to be great. And I do love the colors. That was an interesting choice, but that was what she wanted. So
That's great.
I did that.
So what color is going to go where? Can we
Well,
envision?
the raisin is going to be the dark around the outside. Grab it again. So the raisin is going to be the dark, this color around the outside. And this is then the majority of the color in the butterfly. And this olive is in place of the yellow.
The olive will be in place of this yellow.
Mhm.
The raisin is going to be in place of the black,
The black, yeah.
and the blue color will
Mallard.
be the darker blue on my sweater.
The teal color is that color. Yeah.
That'll be
I
very
think it'll
nice.
be, I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, on a
Good.
tan background, right?
Yeah,
The
on the
pale tan.
it's mushroom, so it is. It's just on that pale
Hmm.
kind of color. And I have to say, when I knit this, I was not paying attention, and I was worried that the tension was going to be weird and the gauge, because I was just like doing it whenever, and the kids were bugging me and everything. And when I blocked it, I really love this yarn. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
And I know Sumner had said about it before, it's a really great yarn and it feels nice to work with. But when I was looking at it, it's like, oh, my tension is crap. I'm not paying attention enough.
Yeah.
And then when I blocked it, it was like, oh, it's really good. It'll work.
Nice.
So
What yarn is
I'm
that,
happy.
Cindy?
that is the Jody Long Andiamo Light.
Okay.
Mm,
I
yeah.
blocking is always great like that. I just returned blocked swatches to my introductory knitting students. And when because we learned blocking 2 sessions ago, and I demonstrated how to block their swatches, and I gave them back in this last week. And then just the kind of like, I knit that? Yeah.
Exactly.
It was all curly and weird. Yeah, stockinette is all curly and weird before
It
you
is,
block.
until you block
You
it,
didn't
and
do
then
it
it looks
wrong.
really
Look how
nice.
beautiful it is.
I think I missed greeting a few people. Hi, Sidra.
You did. You said hello.
Did I? Oh,
Yeah.
hi, Judith.
Hi, I came in late, sorry.
Hi, Rana. Did I say hi to you
Hello.
before? I
Hi,
can't remember.
Rana.
You may have. I knocked myself off the site for a second and had to come
Oh,
back on.
that's what happened. I knew you were here earlier, and then I thought, I don't
Yeah.
think you said hi.
Love your sweater.
I thank you.
Didn't it turn out gorgeous? The
I love
colors
it
are
too.
just so beautiful. And hi, Mary.
Hello,
I see you up there. You might have even been first. You're in the top left on my computer.
Yeah, she was first. She was first because she had no trouble getting into the meeting today.
Yay.
Remember, I had so much trouble not last, well, I wasn't there last time, but time before last.
Mhm.
But I did well today, just popped right on.
Great.
Mary, I think before the meeting started, you were showing what you're working on. Would you like to show us again? now?
Well, it's the kimono sweater in a multi.
Oh, how nice.
Oh, nice.
The colors. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
That looks like
I'm just about through with the back.
Oregon winter sweater. That's what that looks like. An Oregon winter sweater.
She was the one that had mentioned that one to me. And when I was doing my swatches a couple weeks ago with that happiness yarn, that was what it was for, because I'm going to make one of those too. But that one's going to be for me. The butterfly is for my daughter.
Well, someone mentioned that you were going to do that, but you haven't started it, right?
I have not started. I've swatched, and I actually did 4 different swatches because I was like, oh, I like this. Well, maybe I'd like it a little tighter. Maybe I'd like it a little looser. So I did it actually on 4 different sizes of needles. And so I have different swatches. Let me finish my row here and then I'll show that in a second.
Okay. But it, most of the people in my other knit group
Mhm.
have made the small. They tried
Okay.
mine one of mine on
Mhm.
because it really does knit up loose and it's oversized.
Yeah.
So you
Well, a
might
lot
want-
of times garter stitch is kind of like that.
Right.
And it kind of does.
So you
But
might
it
want to
just
keep that
looks
in mind.
comfy and nice. Okay. I certainly will.
A woman who is really much larger than I am, tried mine on, and she decided to do the small also. So
So here's a couple of my swatches.
oh, I like the color.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do this one, which is the that's on size 7 needles. I like that. It's got body, but not too much. The 6 is a real nice fabric, but I think it's going to be a little too much
Tight.
fabric tight feel for what I want. But this one, I like it. And then I did an 8 and a 9, and I think the kids were playing with that one because I said I don't think I'm going to use that one, so that one's gone. It's probably like a doll blanket or something now. But these are the two that I'm thinking. But I think the 7 is the one. But I love this. I love the colors. I think it's really,
Those colors are nice.
yeah. It's kind of wild and crazy like me.
Yeah, that's what we
I
think.
don't think of you wild and crazy, Cindy.
You don't? Well, you've got a mistaken impression then. There.
Cindy's wild and crazy, and yet she has great attention to detail.
Mm.
I do have that. I do have that.
Yes.
If I could just figure out my lace swatch, I'd be doing great.
No, it looks so good.
This is for
Wow.
level 2.
Oh,
Mm.
that's
Oh.
lovely.
Pretty.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is nice.
I tried several different yarns when I was doing little, I won't even call them swatches, but little samples that I was doing in the same size and the same pattern as I wanted to use, but to see what size needles and how I wanted it to look like. And for this one, I still kind of went up another needle size, but then I ended up using the Cascade 220 fingering, the non-superwash. Because some of the others that were fingering, they just were too fuzzy and they didn't have enough twist. And why I think they'd be really good, like for the wristless or things like that, where I wanted it to kind of felt together a little bit. I wanted this one to be a little bit crisper. So this is the English mesh lace
Mm. Very nice.
Like that.
from
Hey,
Barbara
that's for-
Walker's book.
Is that for your master hand
Level
label?
2, yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
So if anybody else is doing level 2, don't use English mesh lace. I use it. You have to choose your own.
It's one of my favorites, but I won't use it, I promise. But I'm not doing it anyway, so.
Well, it's a one that I've had it's funny, as I go through my books, I've had a sticker on this one for a long time. As it's like, oh, I'd like to use that sometime. But I really like the pattern. I like the laciness and openness of it. We'll see.
Frank, are you moved in?
Yes. And the background I'm showing you now is my knitting room.
Ooh,
nice.
yay.
That is just a picture because what's really behind me is the green screen. But that picture, I'm staring at that view right now. It's really beautiful.
Oh, really
Ah.
nice.
Lovely. That's nice.
I was
It's in
trying
front
to
of me
figure
instead of
out if
behind
that
me. I'm sorry, what?
I was trying to figure out if that was live. I didn't see any bushes moving.
Oh, you're right.
I
I'm going to
wasn't
have to record a video then, aren't
Oh, no, you could look out my window right now and things are not moving because it's not windy. If it's not windy, you're okay.
It's a perfectly still day.
It's a still day. It's not raining,
Well, you can put some large green screens outside of your windows. And then you can put yourself yet anywhere and then use that as a background.
Oh, I forgot to bring my markers over here. I'll be right back.
Gosh, that sweater of his turned out nice. Love the color.
Mm, beautiful.
I bet you're going to have a lovely time working that Andiamo light and intarsia.
I think I will. I really like how the yarn moves and handles. It's just, and I'm so glad I didn't just get the Andiamo
Yes.
like Sumner did when he mistook did the big one, because the regular Andiamo is like bulky. Andiamo white, it's like worsted yarn. So
Jody Long is going to be coming here to my shop in March.
oh my gosh.
Nice.
To do a shop visit event, which I'm very much looking forward to. But I think I'm going to use the opportunity to press on him to complete the line with an Andiamo fine.
Ooh.
I would love a fine weight version of that yarn as well. Just
Well, it
imagine
is.
how that works.
It's a very, very nice yarn. It has a nice feel, and it's got a nice amount of twist,
Yeah.
and the way it's put together is nice.
He's also
something-
coming to a shop a couple of hours away from where we live, up in Wyoming, Cowboy Yarns, I think it's called. I got the email and I thought,
Wyoming does have a distinctive theme, yes.
I might want to go up there.
Yeah.
I have to look at it again if it's a day off. I had my annual review yesterday. I will tell everybody I got a raise, so I'm very
And they
happy.
think you're
Yay.
spectacular, right?
Yeah, I thought maybe I'd get laid off, you know. It's the
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you hope,
Right.
No one
right?
wants to hire anymore.
No, I got a raise. I'm happy. So
Yay.
yay. Yes, more yarn.
Yeah, you treat yourself. More yarn.
Yeah, Jerry sold car parts today. He does old Mustangs, like from the 80s. And he sold a bunch of car parts. And I said, so how much did you get? And he told me, and I'm like, oh, I can buy yarn.
I'm doing this new, well, it's not new, it's very old. New to me, Norwegian purling. And
Yes.
and I don't know, Ron, you probably know more about it, that it does seem that the yarn twists a little bit differently because the stitches, I still have to tug every stitch. I haven't,
Mhm.
it's not tight enough, or, you know, my fingers aren't close enough to the needles to not need to do that,
Mm,
but the stitches come out much more evenly.
Yeah, I've for people that I've taught that have settled on this method, it's sort of one where the other. Either they come out very nicely and they look very tidy and they love it, or it's an easier gesture for them to make, but it's so loose that they have to work on tension a lot. And
mm,
I don't know what it's two opposite outcomes when
Yeah.
I'm teaching it to novice knitters generally. I don't try and do any conversion therapy for anyone's knitting style once they're established.
Yeah. It's slower too, though, but
So
the
now this
result
is
nicer for me.
is this Norwegian pearl or is this a different one? Which one are you talking about?
The Norwegian.
It's the Norwegian. Now, is it Norwegian done different for knit too, or just for pearl?
The difference generally is that you make your hand into that like big C to do a continental style knit stitch, and it's great
Okay.
for me because I have 2 strands of yarn. Whereas generally in the Norwegian style, it's right up like that. Your
Right
fingers
close.
pinched
Okay.
together and you make a very tiny movement. But
Okay.
many continental knitters knit that way in the first place with their just like
Yeah,
scooping.
because I've seen
Right.
continental. Sometimes they hold it down close, and
Yeah,
sometimes they hold
so,
it
like,
farther away.
Traditionally, I think people think the continental knit stitches with your fingers extended, right?
mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But you don't see much discussion of anything called a Norwegian knit stitch, but yeah.
So
it's
the knit is,
right
you're
off the
still
first
really
shoulder.
moving you're kind of picking it and moving the yarn the same way.
Right.
But it seems like the pearl
Oh.
is really very different.
Yeah, quite.
Very different.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That.
But I
Sumner
think
was showing it last week or a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, huh?
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
I
just
kind of was
one-
that way too, and I'm like, okay, maybe somebody will demo it
Okay, now
again
what have I
because I
done?
didn't get it.
So knit that much off
Right.
pattern, just having fun. What was
That-
I doing?
That's if you can keep your finger down close to the needle like that.
Yeah, I do. I keep my finger about right here.
Yeah, I can't. Mine's
It's-
up in the air. It won't go
it's
down that
still-
way.
It's still not enough for the pearl to just be natural without giving it a little tug.
Hmm.
But basically, I just pull the needle forward. And anyway, it makes it very slow. But it looks better. So I'm sticking with it.
Well, and so
Maybe I'll-
when you learn anything or try to do anything different, it's going to be slower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like even when I'm doing something on the piano,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be lifting my wrist and playing more on the tips of my fingers. It's like, okay, everything is like half time now in order for me to do it correctly.
Yeah. Now Sumner does it really well. He gets his fingers right down there, right on the needle.
Yeah.
Hi, Serena.
Hi, how are you?
I didn't
Hi,
get to say
Serena.
hello to you yet.
Serena.
Hi.
Running late, but I'm here.
You're here.
That's
Well,
good.
yay, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Why, thank you.
So who wants to show us what they're working on?
Not me.
It's always Judith volunteering first.
No, but
Yes, Judith, well,
I
no,
have-
actually today, Judith, you're not first. I went first, so you're second.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're right. No, I'm just how do I say? Organizing my notes.
Oh. No knitting.
Yeah, Judith, that's a nice color on you.
No, did you make that one?
No, my mother did. That's the
Oh.
last sweater she knitted for me.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, yeah, and she did choose the color. I didn't even have a say.
Well, she was right.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, well,
very good color for you.
I was surprised at first, and well, yep.
It really does suit you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Jenny, what are you working on?
Sorry, I was coughing then, so I put myself on mute. I'm binding off my shawl as we speak.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So
Did you
if you
run
hang
out?
on until the end of the meeting, I might have bound it off. So we'll just wait and see.
Okay.
Did you run out? What did you decide to do?
Yeah.
No, I haven't quite run out. I'm playing yarn chicken. It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
Because how many stitches are you at right now? You were saying, I mean, it was huge.
It's,
Number.
380.
Mm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Walter, what are you knitting on?
I'm making Doctor Who scarf for a friend.
oh yeah.
Oh, I
That's
like
neat.
that.
Yeah,
Pretty.
yeah. So he's 6'4", and he mentioned that he would like it. So
So you made him a really nice long one.
yep, I still got about 7 more rows or 7 more panels to do. So
Mm.
Oh,
I never told him I was making it, so it'll be a surprise. So,
Oh, that's
That'd be a
fun.
nice
oh,
surprise.
nice.
yeah.
And it's so colorful.
Yeah, they got what, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors.
Hmm.
So
I
This is
was
the second one I've made, so.
I was reading the costume designer who was designing Doctor Who at that time wanted him to have that long, well, a regular hand knit colorful scarf, but didn't knit. So he got a friend's mother to knit it for him and just dropped off all the wool. When the wool got dropped off, she thought that he wanted her to use all 7 balls of yarn, like the
Right.
complete quantity of yarn that got dropped off. And that's how that iconic scarf came to be.
Yeah.
Why it's such a long scarf. She just started knitting and stopped when the wool was
Just kept
over.
going.
Oh, wow.
That is so funny.
We're left with the most iconic piece of knitwear on television.
Yeah.
I'm still working on my double knit.
Mm.
Ooh,
Oh.
it's just
Oh,
so
lovely.
cute.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is supposed to say love, but there's not enough contrast in the yarn, so you really can't see it.
Well, you can
Oh,
on that
no, you
side a
can.
little more than you can on the other
The
side.
LO is above the VE. You can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
well,
can
it's-
see it.
on this side it's hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
Well, that's what it's all about.
I know.
Mhm.
Frank, I heard back from Belinda that she was very thankful that you helped her. She couldn't believe she got those numbers wrong. Poor thing.
yeah. Let me just say, in case people have not heard me say it before, if you make a mistake in filling out the forms and you purchase a pattern, and then after the fact you find out you entered some wrong values, you do not have to purchase another pattern. You just email me or send me a message on Ravelry and tell me what the numbers need to be, and I will change the pattern for you, and you don't have to buy a new one.
All right.
And there was something else I was going to say about that. It just fell out of my brain.
Yeah, a lot of that happens.
Yes.
Well,
Well, maybe
was-
it'll come back to me.
okay. I was thinking about it, and that is something that can be problematic on Phrancko.com
Mhm.
is when you buy a pattern from somebody else that it's like, okay, you get small, medium, large, maybe extra large. They've already checked that it's kind of like, okay, it's the right arm for an average person and whatever. So, but it won't necessarily match your gauge or the yarn you want to use or the size of person that you want to make it for or the shape of person you want to make it for. Where Phrancko and KnitWiz both do allow us to do all those things, they're not checking to see that as I'm trying to think how Linda put it, that what was the woman? What was the big green guy in the Marvel things that
The
whole-
Hulk.
the Hulk, yes, but she said that the measurement that she put in for the arms was like a She-Hulk. She had gotten the
Yes.
numbers, serious, that was her words. She had gotten the numbers transposed, and so it ended up with these huge arms. And so then when she went to kind of try it on and see how it was going to work, it was actually for her daughter, but to try it on, it was just humongous. And she's like, I've done something wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. So I'm like, okay, check your gauge, do this, count that, blah, blah, blah. How do you do? And she was trying to get a hold of Frank, and then she did. And then she came back and she's like, okay, yes, I put in the numbers for She-Hulk for the arms, and it was her error that she did the numbers wrong.
She
So-
accidentally put in the length of the arm for her upper arm circumference. And the upper arm circumference became the length of her arm. She reversed those two figures. So it was a very short sleeve and huge
It
around.
was huge.
And she sent a
was
picture of
really,
it
really
just after
huge.
she separated the sleeves from the body. And she said, this
The
doesn't
picture's
look
here.
right. What do you think? I took a look at it and said, nope, that's not right. I don't know what it is. But I
But
looked
that-
up to see what she had done, and she had 23-inch circumferences of the arm. And I said, a very muscular man is 16, not 23. Unless you, and you don't look like you're a humongous person. So I think there's
Yeah,
something
so it's
wrong in the
funny.
inputs.
But that is something that we need to be careful when we input the numbers and before we purchase the pattern, to actually look at the schematics and check our numbers that we really did get it, and that it's coming out the way that we think we want it to be before we ever start
Yes,
knitting. Because she's like, okay, now she's going to have to rip the whole thing out.
that's right. There's no way to
Or else
recover from
find,
it
or else
once you've
find a
gotten that
She-Hulk
far.
that it won't fit. I don't know, but she was going to rip it out. The yarn was beautiful and her knitting was really beautiful.
Yeah,
But I thought
I felt really bad breaking the news to her that she's going to have to start all over.
she kind of knew that going into it when she first messaged me. She's like, I'm going to have to rip this out. It's like, well, let's check this first. Check this. And you know, her gauge was still spot on. That was good. But her numbers were way off.
I try to remember to check my email and my Ravelry every day or two, so people don't wait too long for a response. And I got so wrapped up in the process of moving here that I forgot to check my business email, the Phrancko email. And
Well,
so when I got
I don't think
to her,
I don't think it was very long. She
it was a few
she is-
days. Yeah.
she is in England, or I think she's going to Norway now to visit the daughter. But and she knows that I get up really early, like 4 or 5. And so she'll message me because she knows I'll be up at that time. And it's like it's later in the day for her, but it's early for us. So we'll do that. She's a really neat lady. I like her.
Wow, are we quiet?
Okay, that's unusual.
Yeah.
I thought I had a problem with my sound.
Well, I'm just counting here. I'm on one of the lists.
I'm
ones where I
counting
have to
too.
count.
I'm ripping back,
Oh, no.
but only a few stitches, thank goodness.
Frank, did you tell us what you were working on?
I've decided to make another sample hood. I've got to perfect this hood. So I've started yet another full-size sweater. And I love doing it in Aran weight because it goes so fast. I just started this
Mhm.
a day or so ago.
Oh, wow.
So it's the
Nice
beginning of
effort.
a sweater. And I just picked up across the selvage edge at the top of the sleeve caps.
Hmm.
That's
Why-
what I was
why are you-
counting,
Why are you making a new hood again?
to make sure that I want to do a little bit of a variation on it, just
Mm.
perfecting the pattern, that's all.
Mhm.
And I don't know if the pattern will be accepted yet, and I won't find out for maybe another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so I need something to work on anyway, so I might end up go ahead and just make the hoodie. I may complete the sweater for a change. But it will not be the one that I'm publishing. I'm going to publish this, if it's approved, I will publish using a multicolored yarn that I used to generate the last hood, just the hood itself. I have that nearby in case you want to see it.
Oh, yes.
You've already seen it.
That doesn't mean I remember. I've slept since then.
Yes, it's just the hood at the top of the sweater. Oh, look, it's
Oh, that's
transparent.
ghosty.
I'm going to disappear now.
Yeah.
Oh, your head is gone. Head is gone. There's a little bit of
Renaissance.
ribbing around your face, but
Yeah.
the head is gone. It isn't. Oh, so what it is it's an invisibility cloak.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's an invisibility cloak. Yes. It's going to be
There we
this
go.
color of this multicolored yarn. If you can see it, you can kind of see it, can't you?
Yeah.
We can sometimes.
That's
yeah,
the
there
color
we
I
can see it. Very
proposed
good.
that I make the yarn.
Very nice.
I hope it's approved.
Yeah, I think it might. She usually approves your stuff. She doesn't normally say, "Oh, Frank, we can't do that."
She sometimes comes back with suggestions of things I need to do differently.
Oh, well, that's a good idea though, too.
Well, the most important one was when I proposed doing that tribute to Andy Warhol, and I showed her the Maryland that I had knitted and said, I'm going to put 4 of these on the front of the sweater and call it tribute to Andy Warhol. And she said, there may be a copyright issue with that. She said, I think you need to check with the Warhol Foundation. So sure enough, I wrote the Warhol Foundation an email, found them online. They had an email address. I wrote them and said, I would love to publish a pattern as a tribute to Andy Warhol, and it's going to look like this. And they wrote back and said, we already have garment designers. We are not looking for another one right now. Thank you very much.
Quite abrupt,
Actually
isn't it?
applying to be a garment designer for them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that was their way of saying no.
Well, I'm glad that you did the butterfly instead, because I wouldn't have done the Marilyn Monroe, but I will do the butterfly.
I see. Oh, good. I mean, that was a good choice then.
You should publish just the hood and the top of the jumper pattern. That would make a really nice winter snood to put on. You know,
Well, the front would have to be finished differently. The shoulders don't sit flat, but you're right. I could.
Yes,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Were you able to publish the design for the Maryland, like the actual like Maryland image on your own just by itself?
Who's speaking?
It's Tim.
Tim.
Oh, Tim's behind you. Oh, I was looking at all of you and I said, none of you are
His mouth is
talking.
moving.
Hi, Tim.
Ron, when Tim speaks, Ron, you should move your lips.
Okay, so the question was, would I just publish the pattern for the Maryland face?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I would be sued.
Oh yeah, probably because even Maryland's likeness. Well,
That's right. Maryland's likeness or Andy Warhol's likeness, because it's, you know, it's strange colors and like he did, and it's the same pose that he did Maryland with. And though I started from a photograph that was the same photograph he started from. I found out in research that it was the publicity photo for the movie Niagara. And I went and found the black and white image of it, and I made my own version of it from that, and then added my own colors to it, but they were colors similar to what Andy Warhol had used.
Well,
I would love to make that available, but I'm afraid I would get sued. Maybe I could publish it anonymously.
I mean, if you just if you weren't accepting money for it, with the caveat that it's for personal use only.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that would mean,
Here's a chart.
yeah.
I don't sell the chart, but if you want to use it to put it on a pattern generated at Phrancko.com, I cannot stop you.
Yes.
Ron,
you
you're
wanna
just kind of
do
running on the ragged edge of disaster. You know that.
that.
Um,
I'm going to steer far away from the possibility of being sued. Thank you.
He's going
Oh,
to publish it with a little note which says, Ron said so.
That's right. Ron told me to do this.
this does
Yeah.
not constitute legal advice, I should say. My commentary is for entertainment purposes only. So I managed to complete one color band in the week between meetings because I've been doing other things, I guess. Heaven knows what. I was knitting
I so
knitting
like that
samples of new
stitch.
yarns.
I
So
like that stitch pattern so much. That just is nice.
yeah, it's just I don't know what you would call it. A very broken rib. every fourth row is knit one, purl one band, and it creates the sort of subtle stripy grid look.
It does.
So
And
I'm
in
about
between, what is it? Stockinette? 3 rows of stockinette?
3 rows of stockinette,
And then
One.
knit one, purl one.
knit one, purl one.
Well, that's simple for a
It's
Yeah.
nice
very
though.
nice
The pattern
pattern.
comes out
Easier,
very
but-
nice.
It has this very cozy sort of thermal fabric quality.
Mm.
But that's the sort of thing I like because it's the sort of thing I like to model to people who come into the shop, which is just like, you can make high impact things when you only know the basics. You don't need to know anything but knitting and purling to do this. You don't, so I'm about to add the next color, which is this chlorine yellow
Oh, wow. Yeah.
kind of color.
wow.
It's very bold, high
Mm.
chroma,
Yes.
high contrast colors. So, because I didn't want to make my mother one exactly like mine. And her bands are only 4 long, so
Sorry,
she'll have a
guys, the
more
dog.
reasonable length for her. And then I will have 2 lengths. One that will probably hit most people mid-thigh, and then a more reasonable one. But yeah, I love getting to the point where you switch colors, but we put out a lot of new yarns this week getting ready for our 5th anniversary event. So I spent a lot of time knitting swatches for new yarns and trying to talk myself into starting to knit another row on the sweater and then failing occasionally. But I got a whole color band done.
Ron, do you swatch every yarn you have in the store?
Every single one.
Wow.
Nice.
For a number of reasons. First of all, I want to make sure someone in here between Tim and I has first. RuPaul just started playing through my glasses. The future. I want to make sure someone has firsthand experience using every yarn. So every yarn, at least a swatch, has gone through one of our hands. And we've done a few things with it. Our swatches are small samplers. So we've done a few cables. We've done a little bit of lace. Ridiculously, one of the yarns that I swatched this week. Can you get the scrubby swatch?
Where is it? I don't know where
It's in the bucket of the scrubbies in the classroom. It was like a polyester fuzzy yarn for making scrubby clogs. This
All right.
it was like iridescent scrubby yarn. I was like, rules are rules. It gets a swatch.
Yeah.
And like the ball band calls for it to be knit on 2s.
Oh.
Ow.
I scrubbed the fingerprints off the side of my finger. No, it's in the merchandise on this hand side of the, I can't tell the difference between right and left. I'm just like, yep, it needs a swatch. It gets the same swatch as everyone else. I don't know why, but that's what I did.
So you always swatch the recommended ball band needle size?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So if you look through it, you can almost see cables.
Oh, yeah.
They're in there. This is seed stitch. There, it's in there.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, everything gets exactly the same swatch.
I think
it's-
Lady Gaga would like a dress out of that.
Maybe it would.
Oh.
Never mind what I was going to say, but you'd wind up exfoliated.
She'd have a very soft skin after
Yeah,
wearing it.
red as a lobster, but smooth as a baby lobster. Yeah, so everything gets exactly the same swatch on the needles it calls for, unless Tim makes an error of some kind and neglects to do the seed stitch. Skips to the cables, but you know, I want customers to be able to look at every yarn and see what it really looks like. Plenty of yarns do not look in the skein the way they look at a finished object, and sometimes the difference is remarkable.
Yes.
And sometimes the texture is much different. So I make, or we make, the same swatch for every single yarn in the shop.
A lot of work.
So cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know I appreciate those swatches when I go into a yarn store.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were setting up, you know, in the year before we opened, when we were planning on it, when I was traveling relatively often, and just went to every single yarn store I could, and then I would comb through yarn store reviews on Google or on Yelp, and just like read people's thoughts and opinions and think about things that I had seen or hadn't seen that would have helped me as a shopper. And that's how we wound up making that decision. Like, I didn't want just like occasional swatches. I want to see a swatch of everything. And I don't want just a field of stockinette, because not everyone has a field of stockinette in mind for every yarn. Like, oh, I would love to, I had this cabled shawl that I want to make. Oh, I wouldn't use this because making those cables is a waste of time. You can feel them, but they are not visible. So some people can tell that at a glance, but many people need to see something. So.
Very smart, Ron.
Yeah, they need physically to touch it.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Sometimes that swatch will make or break a customer.
Sale. Yeah.
And, you know, having us have firsthand experience with the yarns, that we've touched them and used them and worked with every single one. When people come in and they pick it up, we can say, like, not making things up with salesmanship, but really, like, I really liked working with that, or that was kind of a pain to work with, but the swatch is lovely, or I wouldn't use that for that kind of thing because it splits or whatever. We know all now.
Are going up or down on a needle size too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think it's worth it as an exercise. And, you know, I lose one ball of yarn worth of supplies, but it generates sales. People see it and appreciate it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Kathy, have
adds
you
to your
shown us what you're working
credibility,
on?
Too.
Me?
Yeah, have you shown us?
No, but I do have something to show.
Okay.
So yesterday, my sister came over and I was teaching her how to make art bats, because I have all this fiber that I solar dyed. And so,
What's solar dye?
well, it's hot in Colorado in the summer. So
Huh?
you pick the 2 hottest weeks, and and the way I did it was, I have all this white roving, because I skirted the sheep and took it to the processor and did all that. And so then you just take a big black concrete mixer and you put in the white roving, and I mixed up dyes and colors I liked, and I just experimented with different batches. So everything is like one of a kind and but batch dyed. So I have rovings, you know, in maybe pound batches, between a pound and 2 pound. But anyway, so then I make the braids, and then the leftovers we take, and I have all this silk and silk and oil and stuff I dyed and mohair. And I'm going to untie this one to show you what it looks like. So
And you just leave it in the sun for 2 weeks and see how it comes out? Is that
only a few hours? You only have to use a few hours, and then and I use boiling water on top, but then I leave it in the sun so it for a few hours, and I use acid dyes, and then it just dyes perfectly.
It's like sun tea.
Like sun tea in Colorado.
Yes.
And so there's
Wow.
one with some silk.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
And then here's another one that's got a little mohair on it. And then silk and oil inside, I think. I can't remember. And then this one I'm going to use, and I am going to make samples. This is what I put this silk and oil inside, and there's like little pieces of yellow and orange and stuff. And I'm going to spin it lace weight, I think, or maybe fingering weight, because it's really fine.
Do you use a blending board, or do you have a drum carder?
I have a drum carder. I went to Montana one year. This was before I got sick, and I was actually going to start a business doing this. And so I bought a Patrick Green carder. It was the very last one he made, and it was this huge thing.
Yeah.
And one time, Clemis, their father and son, they were here in Colorado, and they came over, and they traded me one of the small drum carders so I could do it for fun for the really big one, and they were going to reverse engineer it. And I don't know if they ever did. That was a few years ago. But they took my big carder so they could work with it, because I wasn't going to do that for a business after I was sick, because I couldn't live on a farm anymore. So, yeah. Anyway, it's fun. I taught her how to do it, and she was just in heaven. She's an artist anyhow. So, and the more we did it, the crazier we got. So I have a lot more to do, and I want to do some fun stuff. Then maybe sell them, hopefully sell them at the show, you know. But like Ron said, I think it's especially for fiber like that, you know, if you spin it up, people can see what it really looks like when you knit with it. It's important.
I've one at Yarn Chicken. I've got
that
much
familiar.
left.
Oh.
So that's
You
all that's
won.
left. Yes, I won. It was close.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'll
Remember
click it and post a picture.
Oh,
Isn't that gorgeous?
wow.
Stephanie?
That is
It's
so
just
pretty.
gorgeous.
Look at that.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
So
Save
the
the scraps for another project.
Yeah. The lace should pop when I block it, so it should look quite good.
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
And that's a win for the day.
Yes.
That's great.
Sing. Wally has accessorized.
Yes, I have. I can't, it's dragging on the floor, so I gotta pick it up.
Serena, are you working on something you can show us?
Well, I can show it to you, but it's just a washcloth, just to keep myself busy.
Oh, we love to see washcloths.
So
Oh, that's nice.
it's just the good old grandma's washcloth. I knit
Yeah.
like as many as I can during the year, and give them as gifts at Christmas. So
Mhm.
And what's it made? What's the yarn fiber?
It's 100% cotton. It's knit picks.
Yeah. I was thinking if you're making a towel, what did you call it? What did you say you're making? A dish towel. Yes, if you're making a dishcloth, it pretty much has to be cotton, doesn't it?
I
don't
think so. I mean,
Yeah.
they do a cotton linen blend as well at knit
Oh,
picks
yeah.
that I've used.
Mhm.
And I've used other brands of cotton too, common out there, but their price points are so good. And this year I decided to go ahead and splurge and get cones
Oh, my.
Wow.
Wow.
because I get frustrated. I love the colors, the different colors, but I get frustrated when it doesn't use up and I have like, you know, so many ounces and not enough to make a washcloth. And I don't like to have a bunch of ends in something as small as a washcloth.
Mhm.
So I just decided to pick two colors that I was going to do this year, and just so I can make as many as one, because I have lots of little bits of cotton that I think I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah. You can,
You realize
you can
this
make,
is
you
being
can make
recorded. I
Mida
can't believe
corner
you said that.
blankets.
I just don't want to fool with all those ends. And
Well, you don't have to feel guilty about leaving bits of cotton string out for birds to nest with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's biodegradable, it's non-synthetic. They use
I
string
did
all the
offer
time.
it to my knitting group that I hosted at my house this week, and some of them took little bits of it, but you know, in fact, I had partial washcloths in the stash because I started with a brown washcloth and I didn't have enough to finish the corner, and I didn't want to do it with another color.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I said something to him about, I think I'm just going to throw it away. And oh my Lord.
Yeah. No,
It's
no.
like a sin.
Yeah,
I did
cotton's gonna
make
burn
this,
you.
if you see this that I'm wearing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
So this is my own design. Really, I learned how to fit myself with Suzanne Bryan's knit along and ended up making this. And I don't like pooling very well, and so I sampled several stitches, and this one did not really pull this stitch pattern. So it looks fine for me, but I didn't want it to pull strangely, like you see these stripes. And
Oh,
so I came up with I did all over lace so it wouldn't pull.
Wow. It's pretty design.
I'm very happy with it. I wear this as much as I can in Florida. It's too hot to wear knitted things most of the time. But that's all I got today. I'm just trying to keep my hands busy. I can't work on major projects while I'm talking.
yeah.
Rhonda, what are you working on?
I'm in the middle of a mystery knit along.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, sometimes they are and sometimes not. But,
Is it a shawl or a?
it's a
or do you-
shawl.
It is a shawl. Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because I
So-
think the last mystery knit along that I did was like a little gnome.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's really funny.
Yeah. When you don't
Very
know
cool.
how big something is going to be, or you don't like a particular part of it, then that can be a problem.
Yeah,
So
it can be hard.
sometimes they get finished and sometimes they don't, but always pick up a little more intelligence of different stitches and so forth. So it's worth it.
So what colors are you doing it in?
I'm doing it in a beige. Actually, it's more of a taupe, and then a little darker taupe along that line, and then a kind of blue like Frank's sweater, the background.
Oh, that's pretty. That would be
Wow.
pretty together. Really nice.
Yeah. So,
Well,
Well,
does
we
anybody have
encourage you to
something else
see.
they want to say before we say goodbye?
Tim promised he'd have his sweater done next week.
Oh,
oh,
yeah. I
Oh,
do
yay,
promise- I
Tim.
promise it'll
Yeah.
be next
Oh,
week,
great.
yeah.
We look forward to seeing it, Tim.
I'm not going to be here next week, so I'll see you in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, you know,
Yeah.
we'll miss you, Jenny.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Take it
you,
easy,
Frank.
everyone.
bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.